So from a populist perspective, right, we've been fed this idea that having these government institution learning centers is the best way, and that right after you get done with your K through 12 education, you go right into a government higher education and you get your degree. Again, that didn't work. And how do I know it didn't work? Look at all of the Gen Zers today and even millennials. I'm a millennial, and Gen Alpha coming into the workforce that have these very expensive degrees and they're doing nothing with them. So that system has proven, and I believe this is a marker, right, of globalism, to be honest, to be able to push as many people through the education system, allow a bunch of other people from other nations to come to the United States, receive our education, go all back out over to their other countries so they can build their industry over there, and to be able to take advantage of the American worker. And that to me is why when you go down the line of populism, when it comes to education, you have to give people the freedom to decide what kind of education do you want for your children that you can instill your values. For some parents, that's going to be homeschooling. For other parents, that's going to be a charter school, a private school. But the idea that we've captured parents and said you have to be forced if you don't have money or can't, qualify a kid for a scholarship to go to this government institutional learning center. And I think that again, populists on the right are realizing that this system is broken when it comes to things like this radical ideology, a lot of the trans and kids stuff, right?
Can I ask you a question right
Yeah.
here on just bookmarking this just for a second? And you might not know about this, so if I put you on the spot, uh, then we'll just go by it. But I believe I've read a bill that just got support from the Republican senators. Uh, it was a bipartisan bill, which actually allegedly, and I mean to read this bill, I haven't read it yet. That's why I say allegedly, actually limited the freedom of choice for those citizens that want to homeschool their kids. Is that true, false? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, so it's not true. So the amendment to this bill would have effectively got rid of homeschooling. It just wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't happen because of the regulatory hurdles that would be put in place that you have to like do all of these things if you want to teach your kid at home, set up all of these additional barriers. Now, every Republican ended up voting against the amendment. Every Democrat voted for the amendment, so it died because they have a perfect split in the state house. But thankfully, because if one Republican would have flipped, game over, man. It would have passed the House, passed the Senate, and the Governor Walz would have signed it. And homeschool would effectively be crushed in
So
Minnesota.
actually, what happened was that was incorrect. That's why I asked the question that
Yeah.
way because I haven't read the bill or the amendments yet. It's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
Well, that's encouraging
Yes.
because I'm going to tell you what happened on X.
Sure.
So you know, there's a lot of people. Our elected officials have decided, wow, look at Royce go. We need to get out there too. That's a damn good idea,
Sure.
this digital thing. Look at AK. He won national committee man. This guy's dope. We better copy him.
Sure.
Like Stan Hamilton beat me for the chair of CD3. He said right at the convention, he likes watching my podcast. He agrees with me. He likes listening to me. And he started his own podcast. And so, that's very flattering, right? To be
Sure.
imitated. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was cool. But there's a group of people now that are interacting online. You see them. You
Sure.
just don't pop in that often.
I honestly, I probably don't see them. To be honest, when I go online, and this is side caveat, I go out to like get my message out of what I want to say.
Yeah.
And then I basically I'm done. Like
You're in and out.
I'm in and out, man.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
And I'm reading articles. Like I barely even look at my replies. Like I might skim and I might try and take one or two, but it's because, dude, I'm posting on TikTok, right? I'm posting on Instagram. I'm posting on Facebook. People are messaging me, and then I'm doing like my national committee stuff, right? I just don't have enough time, brother, to be like really in it. So I pop in, drop what I want to say, and I'm out, man. I'm out. Like even with DMs, I try and respond to people. But yeah, like so I honestly don't even see the fights.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm in the fights.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't think there's any leadership really out there. It's just a growing network of digital warriors
Sure.
that, and boy, I'll tell you, when this first bill came and then the outcry against the Republican senators who had voted and set up this battle, man, it was intense.
As it
S
should be, though. Don't you think that was a good thing, though?
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, I have I asked a question. I mean, I saw something in the Star Tribune that Harry Niska had said, and I didn't indict him. I just said, "What did you mean by this?" He answered me like within 5 minutes.
Awesome.
So, I mean, the elected representatives are paying attention to what the citizens are doing, and the citizens now have the juice to make their feelings well known. That's populism.
Yeah, man.
Because and that's the so for those of you who are listening, because I preach constantly about citizen involvement, that's one of the many ways to be involved, is to let your representatives know how you feel, because they're supposed to represent the people, correct?
Yeah, and I'll take it from two perspectives. On one hand, yeah, you can pressure an elected representative to change their mind because they're afraid of losing power. The other hand, if I'm taking an elected representative in their best possible light, they just don't know what people actually that they disagree. So letting a bunch of people letting them know, they're like, "Oh, well, I guess I didn't realize this. Let me reevaluate my position." So I believe that both ways are effective. Now, people that are a little bit more pessimistic are like, "Yeah, they're only going to change because they're afraid of losing power." Cool. I don't really care. The mechanism, like you said, is important. We, the people, have the power, and I think that people forget that. And again, that's why.
No, 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 stop. They
Sure,
didn't forget it. They've been disempowered and demoralized
that's
in a
true.
very systematic way
Agreed.
by a political class that depends on their demoralization and their disempowerment. And let me just say, this is what, when I talk about honesty,
Yeah,
I would like every elected official, every time they approach a microphone, to encourage citizens that are involved with them to enter the party.
yeah,
But they don't do that, do
right.
they? Why? Because then they have uncontrollable and unpredictable outcomes. And um, that's where I have my personal ministry or mission in life, is to I want to get every single citizen, Democrat or Republican, left, right, center, whatever ethnicity, doesn't matter. I want everyone to self-govern, because popcorn.
Yeah,
Populism only works if the population self-governs.
that's right.
Otherwise, it's just advertising.
Correct.
Correct?
No, and so I would add on top of that. The reason why I say people forgot is because it's not that I disagree with your premise that there's been a concerted effort to stop and, like you said, disenfranchise people, right?
Demoralize them.
Demoralize them as well. However, because I am such a big believer in agency, I don't fully accept that premise, because I think that even in the worst of everything, you always, as an individual, have a choice to make. Now, I agree that you can create an environment where it's very difficult and you can bear this out algorithmically, that people are not going to choose to do this thing. And that's what happens with a lot of people that try and shape policy and sentiment, is they know that there's a X percentage chance that if you apply pressure and leverage this way, that this is how people are going to react. But I still do the reason I'm not disagreeing with what you're
No,
saying. I'm just saying
and I'm agreeing with you
I want
also.
people to realize that you have agency.
Without the responsibility of agency, then it's over.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I got involved, you got involved. I came from my frame, you came from your frame. Somehow we were motivated to give up all these other things we could have done
Yeah.
to do this.
Yep.
And I have to tell you, there's other things to do,
There's a lot of other things
right?
to do,
So,
brother.
but this demoralization part, it's systematic, and
Sure.
it is aimed at disenfranchising people. And there's two perfect examples of this that I want to bring out.
Sure.
And I said this earlier, the focus on the Fed, on Washington, not the Fed, not the bank. I mean, the focus on what happens at a federal level, the continuous focus on Donald Trump, on the Congress. Their Congress going to do what Congress going to do.
Right.
But what we can do in our neighborhoods is whatever we want to do.
That's right, brother.
And so we've taken our frame and moved it to an area where we're just not going to be effective. It's not effective to get together with 14 other people on a Saturday morning and bitch and moan. 14 aligned people to bitch and moan about how terrible everything is.
Right.
That's not politically effective. It's not particularly politically effective to post up on X. That's also a psychological process. What's effective is self-governing. So as long as they've got our focus in an area where we're not effective, we're disempowered. Now we have agency. We can, and I've been working on this for several years to put all of my interest and energy on state politics. It's not sexy.
Right.